Okay, so I have been obsessed by Reddit's most passive-aggressive subreddit, Am I Overreacting? I'd say about 2% of the people posting there may be curious if they're having a reasonable reaction, and the other 98% are posting shit like, my boyfriend cooked and ate my dog in front of me, and I told him I didn't like that. Am I overreacting? Yeah, okay. We know you're just going there to post what an asshole your boyfriend, your Tinder date, etc. was, and we love it. So I came across this one, and I just read the first line. I have no idea where this is going, but it begins with, went on one date with this guy I met off Tinder, and this is how he's acting. Am I overreacting? Alright. So this guy's name begins with S. We're just going to call him Sam. Sam kicks off with, I take it you never found a gator. Beautiful opening live. Masterful gambit, sir. Where are we going with this? So she replies, no, but we found an armadillo. Excellent. I'm already hooked. There's only so many places in the U.S. where you can find those two things together, and 100% of them are swamps. So we are in the swamp here. Love it. She was very disappointed. Lol. We walked for 5 hours and did 4.3 miles. So Sam says, nice. Good workout, at least. She gives a little crying emoji. Oh, definitely, but my feet hurt so damn bad. Reasonable. I'm with him so far. He gives it a good old ripperoni. I'm guessing these guys are under 30 or something. So apparently she sent him a video of some sort, because he follows up with, there's no video, lol, just sound. She tells him that's all it's supposed to be. It was the middle of the night. Okay, so now we know we're in trouble. Anytime you get an okay, man, woman, in between, both, okay is bad news. And she says, it sounds pretty, lol. I'm starting to think that, okay, these gotta be millennials. Millennials are the only people who end every sentence with lol like this. I read somewhere someone made a joke, we end sentences with lol, like people in the 30s ended telegrams with stop. Okay, so it says, I think I'm gonna go to the beach solo this time. So apparently they started off with a beach date, and he's just telling her, I think I'm gonna go alone. Reasonable. She says, alrighty then, thumbs up. Giving him space. They only went on one date. So she's just, telling him to fine. You got boundaries. I don't need all this attention. You can go to the beach. And then it goes off the rails. She didn't ask why. She just said, okay. But he follows up. He was probably furious she didn't ask why. He was waiting for her to be heartbroken and say, but why? Why won't you go to the beach with me? Like, going to the beach with this guy is this girl's dream. Well, he follows up with, I can't do this one. Cause sending someone an audio files, pretty weird. I guess there's supposed to be an apostrophe, like sending someone an audio file is. Cause sending someone an audio file is pretty weird, I guess. Especially when it sounds like you're sucking dick in it, shrug emoji. Holy shit. Oh man, this is like, I'm guaranteed this audio file is like a Rorschach test for this guy. That's all he was thinking about. He was just, I imagine this guy, like, his initial response to it, he's hearing it, and he's hearing whatever it sounds, whatever the sound is, I haven't read it yet, but whatever that is, and he's just sitting there thinking, I know that sound. I'm Sam, the beach guy. That's the sound of someone sucking dick. So she responds, excuse me, fair, very fair. It's sounds of fucking tree frogs. I'm trying to imagine, I have frogs. I live on a lake and we got frogs. I have heard the frogs. I know what sucking dick sounds like. I have never confused those two things. I've never walked out back to my lake and looked around and said, are there 1,000 people sucking dick right now? So he gives shrug emoji. Hey, don't blame me. Don't kill the messenger, right? So she says, so much for trying to share the beauty of nature. And then she hits him with LMAO. Damn, she went from LOL to LMAO. This is the most passive-aggressive thing that a millennial can do to you. So if you see that, you know you're fucked. Send an actual video next time. or actually call back when you tell people you're going to. So now we get to where he's actually mad about. Apparently he didn't get a call back, and so he thought it's obviously because she's too busy sucking dick to call me. Sam, totally natural. So she responds with a paragraph here. Ah, yes, let me just turn my flashlight on at 1 a.m. so they all stop making noise when I'm trying to peacefully walk in the dark to hunt an alligator. What the fuck? Makes perfect sense. It did until you said to hunt an alligator. I mean, I'm sure she was going out just to spot one or something like that, but just throwing that in casually just gives me a sense of awe. And again, I just said we walked over 4 miles in 5 hours. That's 1 mile per hour. That's actually pretty slow. But, I mean, yeah, you're going through the swamp. Honestly, making it 1 mile in an hour in most of the swamps I've seen is pretty impressive. And again, I just said we walked over 4 miles in 5 hours. We didn't make it back to the car till almost 2 a.m. Why the fuck you being so weird? Perfectly valid question. Giving hella weird, aggressive energy for absolutely no reason. You know? He really is. Well, I mean, I guess the reason is that he thought, the tree frogs were sucking your dick or something. He says, oh God. He says, I guess I woke up and chose violence today. I don't know. Ah, man. The first time you hear that phrase, it's kind of funny. You go, ha, yeah, that's some energy. You're along with the meme. But by the 100th time, you realize people just say it when they're being an asshole. This is like the modern, internet version of, I'm an asshole and I don't care, for people that are just trying to, brag that they have no consideration for other people's feelings. And he continues to justify why he chose violence. Maybe because both of us were up till past midnight. One of us was having fun while the other was waiting by a phone that never rang. I guarantee you he was waiting by that phone. That's a red flag right there. You go on one date with someone and he was probably sitting there, head on the pillow, phone right next to it, staring at the minutes tick by. He says, it's not the lack of a phone call that's upsetting. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He wanted her attention. It's the I'll call you back / doesn't part. So he's trying to say, if, you had just never called me, I wouldn't be mad. Right. But you said you were going to, and then you didn't. Well, I mean, she was out in the middle of a swamp hunting gator. He says, I will admit, though, I'm likely being dramatic due to lack of sleep. Because it sounds like he's trying to apologize, right? It sounds like he's trying to, maybe I'm being unreasonable. But what he's really saying here is, maybe I'm just upset because I was up all night waiting for you to call me. That's what that is. That is, like I said, that's some petty shit right there. That's not an apology. She says, no offense, but you're how old? I've been trying to figure that out this whole time reading this. I'm assuming millennials because I'm a millennial, but honestly, I have no idea. If you were waiting by a phone that never rang, I don't know, maybe text me and say, hey, I'm going to bed soon. Want to call now or is tomorrow better? Honestly, pretty good suggestion. I don't know why. I'm actually surprised he didn't send her a text. I'm surprised he didn't send her 100 texts if he's given this kind of freak out over, one night without a phone call while she was hunting gator. I mean, come on, hunting gator. Absolutely nothing that a bit of simple communication couldn't take care of. I mean, and this girl is serving it. She's right. Now, she could have just said, hey, I thought you were going to call. Or you could have called. You could have said, oh, hey, it's late. I know you said you were going to call, but I'm getting ready for bed. I figure I'll show you. Blah, blah, blah. What if you want to talk? And she says, lack of sleep is no excuse to speak to anyone that way. Again, calling him out on his shit. She knows exactly what he's doing. I like this girl. I'm not going to be spoken to disrespectfully because you woke up and chose violence. Hey, this girl, okay, I like this girl. She knows what's up. She knows that is just a bullshit phrase that people use to get out of trouble to make it cute and quirky that they're being complete assholes. It's not. It never is. Women are certainly not attracted to a man who can't regulate his emotions and communicate properly. Peace. And that's true. Difficulty regulating emotions is usually a sign of emotional immaturity and kind of a red flag. Usually the guys that can't regulate their emotions do more than say mean words. Know what I mean? He says, you, uve, you, ve, been given I'm just using you vibes, and I'm supposed to be polite. Using him for what? They went on one Tinder date. Phone calls? Definitely not. I've never asked anything from you. Anything taken by me was offered by you. Again, I would have just cut this dude off already, but she's giving it. But I'm really not going to sit here and argue because that'd be a waste of my time. She's right, but also, here she is. If you expect someone to want to be in a relationship with you, LeMayo, cross the line right there. We have crossed the Rubicon. Yeah, being polite is the bare minimum. Yeah, it's impolite to tell people it'll call you back and then not. Gotta walk the walk before you can talk the talk. I'm just returning the same energy you've been giving me. So basically, I know you are, but what am I? Or you started it. So I'm really starting to think this guy is just 3 kids in a trench coat. Like 3 toddlers in a trench coat. She continues, I haven't once been aggressive or impolite. Again, you knew I was busy, and you were not. Nothing a bit of simple communication couldn't fix. Too late for that now, though. So she's giving him the send-off, and she's saying, hey, look, it's over. You fucked up. Thank you for your time. Okay, she's going into customer service voice. I can just hear this in my head. Thank you for your time. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. If you choose to wake tomorrow and choose emotional regulation, LeMayo, let me know. Damn, she skewered him. He is burnt to a crisp, and she's not wrong. Like, the whole, I said it already. I hate the whole woke up and shows violence thing, and honestly, simply, she just trashed him. So apparently this, flipped the switch in this guy, because we have a fucking novel. So there's some black tag here for personal information, I'm sure. Something about being homeless and unemployed, and then I went an emotionally mature, never gets upset over anything kind of man. Alright, so he's going straight to, I guess I can't be upset about anything ever. He's catastrophizing everything. There's the red flag there, ladies. Respectfully, name, you're asking for something that not many men do. Okay, so he's mansplaining men to her, as if she was not familiar with them by this point. We have feelings too. Oh, okay, so he's just vulnerable. He's vulnerable. And you've hurt mine, yet you are acting like I'm the bad guy. I mean, seriously, you've been distant. You did explain why the other day. So then, well, okay. Here it is. Insinuating that I'm some cuck. There you go. Normal people don't use that. Normal people really don't say cuck, ever. I mean, so, brief sidebar. Here's the history of cuck. Normal people don't say cuck. It's not slang that everyday dudes use. So this guy has got a browser history, let's say. But he's in his feelings right now. I said, you insinuated that I'm some cuck. Because she sent him the dick-sucking frogs audio, which is not a phrase I ever thought I'd say. Maybe you want to feel like I just don't want to do anything fun and invite yourself to the condo. We both know I paid you much more than the work you did was worth. Which I was fine because I knew he's losing it. His hands are turning to mush. Which I was fine with because I knew you're in a tight spot and I want to help. So apparently, I guess he helped her out with a gig or two. Like maybe she cleaned his apartment or something. I don't want to rush into anything with anyone, but I mean, I'm not taking you to be friends either. So all of that taken into consideration, and then you don't even hold my hand back. I'm sure you know what I mean by that. I hope so. It's hurtful if you are scared to... She's now scared to love. If you are scared to love... Oh my god, he keeps going. If you're scared to love someone again, then that's on you, not me. So apparently not liking being talked down to and insulted by this guy means that she's just scared to love, because obviously he's such a normal dude. Sam here is such a normal dude that anyone not loving him must have deep emotional issues. He continues to go on to say, I mean, you want to go to the condo, yet you don't even have as much as given me a peck on the cheek. Does that make sense? God forbid that a partner would want to see where you live. I didn't know that there was sort of like a kissing fee to get into this guy's apartment. I wonder if that's something he has with the rest of his friends. Like, hey, bro, hey, want to go play some Xbox? Yeah, well, you know the drill. Honestly, that'd be adorable. I kind of want to do that now. I am going to make my friends, like, at least give me a peck on the cheek if they want to come over and hang out. It's like you want the benefits of being with someone without being with them. Yeah, the real benefits of being with this guy. I can see him all over the place. I mean, he'll confuse frogs for sucking dick. I mean, that is actually pretty unique. I mean, I don't know anyone else that's ever done that, so that's something, right? It's a feature, maybe not a benefit. You've been very vocal about you should have taken into consideration of what you bring to the table for a woman. I don't think she ever said that. Maybe it's a conversation they had in private, but this is nothing that we've seen in this text exchange that's been going on for several days now, if you're looking at the timestamps. Yet you've been completely oblivious, big word for this guy, and you spelled it right, I guess, I don't know, I can't spell, to the fact that all you've shown me that you bring to the table is overpriced cleaning and judgment. Damn. I mean, I'm kind of picturing this guy hiring her to clean his apartment, and I really gotta, just given what I know about this, and any human being who seriously uses the word cuck in a sentence, is he was expecting some sort of maid fantasy out of this. He was gonna give her money, she was gonna bend over to clean something, and just, the funk music would start playing, the Viagra would kick in, and this guy would, I think he's just upset that didn't happen, that she actually cleaned his apartment. And as far as it being overpriced, I'm sure you offered a figure. You offered a number. She didn't walk up and give you some astronomical figure that you decided to go with, unless you thought that figure was for more than cleaning, which makes you the type of man that would use cuck seriously in a sentence. After all this, he says, I do want to keep talking to you. But definitely not in the capacity that it's been in. I'm not some aspiring sugar daddy that just wants to chat every now and then. Either put some effort in or communicate now that you're not going to call me, and I'll go on my way. Okay, so he's doing the Uno reverse card here. He's flipping it. Actually, it's you that's been bad at communicating. I'm pretty sure she communicated, one, that she was going to go catch a gator, and two, this guy's a creep. So she responds, which really surprises me at this point. She says, I'm now visiting my grandmother, and it'd be quite rude to sit and text right now. I can respond to you shortly, ! Probably around 3 p.m. At this point, I think she knew she was going to post this to Reddit and was just trolling for content, because there's no way, after all this, unless, maybe Sam said something that really got to her, and, he actually did strike her to the core with his, judgments here. I don't think so. I think she's just milking him for content right here. He says, have fun. Oh, and then we get the novel. He says, I owe you an apology for the comment I made on what you sent me. Talking about the frogs that suck dick thing. It was uncalled for. It didn't. And I was just being rude for the sake of retaliation. See, that's what I said. Yeah, I told you, I heard frogs. Frogs do not sound like the sucking of dick. They simply do not. Even if you've never sucked dick, you heard it sucked at some point, and you've also heard a frog, and just trying to imagine confusing those two things, it's what I said. He said he was just looking for something to be mad about, so it says, I will add though, so now he starts walking back the apology. What I'm trying to say is that I get you got a lot going on. I understand why you don't want to jump into anything, and I feel the same way. I do, however, see a difference in how we are individually trying to handle that. You seem to correlate not jumping into anything too quick with trying to slow down the process of getting to know each other and seeing if we have a genuine connection. I feel like ChatGPT wrote this, because this is not the same man. He put in apology. He put in the text to ChatGPT and said, give me an apology. I'm not looking for just a wife. Okay, they had one date, and he says, I'm not looking for just a wife. So, I don't know. She said it was on Tinder, not one of those, marriage, marriage for cash type sites, and he even, this is why I think ChatGPT wrote this, because he's trying to, I'm looking for a lover. Yeah, he did not write this. And the only thing I want more is to have a best friend in the same person. Okay? What I'm concerned about, though, is the way you're handling things creates a situation where we may not be able to form any kind of connection. Because you're, for a lack of a better word, gatekeeping. Who taught him that word? Why are we teaching people that use the word cuck in a sentence the word gatekeeping? That's our word. We should be gatekeeping. So the difference is that I don't feel like you gotta even worry about what you're jumping into, because you gotta be bestie before that's ever gonna happen. And this is the guy that was complaining that she cleaned his house without first kissing him. You want me to make a fool of myself and show up looking like Huckleberry Finn to go fishing? Sure, I'll do my best to embarrass you back. You want to go call my bluff and see if I'll actually catch and cook frog legs? Sure, I may surprise you. Want to go make out in a cornfield and see what random shit we can find in the woods? Let's go. I'm really hoping these are adventures that she brought up, because if this is his idea of being spontaneous, I'm scared. All of it just really seems to be, hey, do you want to go to an isolated location with me? But why should I do my best to woo you? Really? To woo you. If you have a bad habit of talking about good communication while having bad ones yourself. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. I'm just pointing out that yours aren't the best either. I'm not Saint, and I'm genuinely sorry for what I said to you. I just hope that a woman wrong use of whom, expects me to be a polite man of my word will be a good woman of her own. I'd like to talk this through, though. Give me a call? She says, she, again, clearly just milking for content, because there's no way that she's still in this. I'm driving right now in some rough traffic. Can I call you in a few minutes? He says, whenever is convenient for you. You can just hear the hat tip. Whenever is convenient for you, madame. Did I say convenient? What's wrong with it? Would you still like to go to the condo Wednesday night? Just a pet peeve, and there's no judgment on this for real, but people who call, their house or apartment the condo. What are you trying to say, man? I do want to see my cousin on my dad's side. I haven't seen in years. Oddly specific. You're welcome to join for dinner if you'd like, but just want to give you the heads up that we'll ask if you still even want to go. As much as I appreciate the offer, she says, I'll be honest, I really don't want to anymore. I just don't see things between us going anywhere after everything. Okay, so I guess she really, either she really was still making up her mind and not just milking her for content, or she got invited, put up against the wall, and now she's got to stop this before it goes any further. You have to understand that if I'm getting this type of energy from you now, I'm honestly terrified that your temper is going to lead to a situation much worse in the future. And exactly, so I said that earlier. Guys that don't regulate their emotions do more than just say mean things. And, she's a woman. She's obviously seen that before. Women are no strangers to this. She's just, she sees the red flags, and I'm hoping that she's just smart enough to avoid them instead of drawing on past experience for her sake. She says, I'm sorry and wish you the best, ... But all this just made me really uncomfortable. I think it'd be best if we go our separate ways and don't talk anymore. He says, I'm sorry. If that's how you want to go forward, I don't know what you want me to say. I can't make you talk to me. In all honesty, that's kind of my point was, you barely talk to me anyways. I feel used for $500 and disregarded as some random guy I barely talked to. Dude, she already said she's done with you. What is this? This last word shit again, red flag. That's why I was upset. But sure, you want to call it off while I've started to have a pretty shitty Father's Day. Oh man, I'm hoping this guy, I don't know, this guy does not sound old enough to be a father. I think he's just throwing that in. Maybe hoping that she's got some daddy issues or something he can draw on by mentioning Father's Days. I don't know. but it's part for the course. Hit me up once you've hit me up once you have the baby and give it up. Honestly, I should have just said that initially when you told me you were pregnant. Damn, we're just getting like, this is season finale shit, and he's tacked it on at the end right here. Okay. I already feel like I'm compromising enough considering you don't want children anymore. You already have two, and I wouldn't be interested in helping raise the third from day one if it wasn't mine, respectfully. Okay, so this is stuff that, like, before the date, right? Like, so if this guy knew he didn't want anything to do with kids, he knew she at least had two. And then I'm guessing the current or pending one is, was news shared on the first day, like, okay, by the way, I didn't think it would get this far, but I'm pregnant, blah, 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 and he kept going with it. That affirms my theory about the maid situation I alluded to early. Respectfully, nothing you say is respectful, man. You're the type of guy that uses cuck in a sentence. Just saying it since you're just showing your hand. Oh man, what if this guy really thinks he just dunked on her? Like, damn, he got her good. I'm sorry I made you feel uncomfortable, but you've done the same in some ways. Human nature is filled with mistakes. Oh, good. I'm gonna take my, philosophy from this guy here. The guy that thinks frogs sound like sucking dick. Continues going, says, good luck, girl, and he ends it with, again, like the fifth paragraph after she said goodbye. You barely know me at all, so your temper leading to a much worse situation is mighty bold and offensive assumption. Again, girls know these red flags, and if she's seeing them and she's listening to them, I really hope that she's not, but she's probably familiar with them. And that's why they're red flags. Guys like this will really try to say, you're overreacting, and you don't know, everything like that, or like, that's offensive. You would think that about me. I'm not some monster, but that's part of the game. That's part of the manipulation. Maybe the first time it happens, it's the first time that's ever happened, but I'm not like that, right? He ends it with, and still, at least, I'm not trying to get plastered and wreck your truck. What? Like, where they went in the last hurrah of this text exchange was somewhere else, man. Like, I have no idea where this plastered and wrecked your truck stuff came from, but I know that there's probably a great story in there. I really wish that this was a reality show. I want to see, because they only went on one date and they have all this inside content and stuff like that. It must have been like some really wild times. Like, I don't know, maybe they're both terrible people, maybe they're both great people, all I have is a text exchange to go by, but basically as soon as I saw Hunting Gator, I kind of knew I wanted to share this wherever it went, and I was not disappointed.